they were desperate, the more desperate team. They were on a 6-game losing streak. They needed that win. Talk about what happened between the Caps and the Preds, and do you think there's going to be any sort of hangover there tonight against the Blues?
Well, I think the big thing, you said the Preds were playing hungry, and they played a real gritty game the other day. They were hardworking in front of their net around their goaltender. They have the best goaltender in the league, probably. They were stingy between the blue lines, and they played really rough and tough and aggressive around the Caps net front. They played an ugly hockey game, and the Caps didn't have any interest. The game was a little too easy at the start of the night, and they just got caught by surprise. I thought they got absolutely outworked by the Preds, and there could be a lot of reasons for it. The Predators also didn't have had to play the next night back in Nashville. They were on a trip with family members, so their focus was there as far as the playing hockey. And it was New Year's Eve day, and you might have some distractions there. So I think the best thing, the Caps just got that over with, got back here on the road, and I don't think there will be a hangover tonight. They usually play very well in St. Louis, and probably no one plays better here than Ovi. He's had a phenomenal career against St. Louis, and he loves to play in this building and scored a lot of goals here.
Getting back to the Preds for just a second, are Caps fans finally over the whole Martin Erat for Philip Forsberg deal? Was that deal softened by the Caps finally winning the Stanley Cup, or do some Caps fans still hold on to that to this day?
I'm sure there are people that will always complain about that, but the way I look at it, if that trade didn't happen, we didn't get rid of the coaching staff that we had. We don't end up with P.J. Oshie and all these other players. Matt Niskanen isn't on this team, Brooks Orpik, the players that helped win it. And, maybe Jacob Vrana's not in the lineup, and just a different composition of players. So, it doesn't matter now. All these guys here are Stanley Cup champions. Martin Erat's not a Stanley Cup champion, nor is Philip Forsberg. And I think the bottom line is that this regime of the Caps management and coaching staff, they've won a Stanley Cup, and the other people haven't.
So, Alan, the big news yesterday was that Alex Ovechkin turned down his invite to the All-Star game. He wants to rest. He's 33 years old now. He knows best what his body needs. My personal view on it is I'm a selfish Caps fan. I don't care if he goes to an All-Star game and is competing in a bunch of exhibition events for people in San Jose or wherever else the All-Star games he's attended have been held. I'm fine with him missing it, though he's gotten some flack for the decision. What's your input? I think he made the right call.
Players have been doing this for years now. They've been taking time off at the All-Star break. They're just tired. They're fatigued. I'm not sure exactly what Ovi's at. There's probably more to the story, that he needs a little break. He didn't play particularly well against Nashville the other day. I thought he only got the motor running 2 or 3 different times. And the effort was there, but the body looked like the body wasn't cooperating. So I have zero problem with any player in the league that doesn't play in the game. The league keeps changing the rules. The management guys, all things that go into putting players on teams. And I think if players don't want to play, they don't want to play. But I also get that since they put so much promotion into it, that there is a 1-game suspension if a player is not injured. And, Ovi knew that, and, the team knew that. And I'm fine with him doing what he's doing, just like I was fine when Jonathan Taves did it on the Chicago Blackhawks, like I was fine when Sidney Crosby did it with the Pittsburgh Penguins. These players know their bodies, and you know what? At the end of the season, if they don't engrave your name on the Stanley Cup for playing in the All-Star game, it's for winning the championship in the Stanley Cup final. So the guys can do what they want as far as I'm concerned. But, they keep messing with these different formats. I think the skills competition is very laughable, is the quality of what it brings. I do like the new format of the All-Star game, but with that being said, we'll see other players on it this year.
Well, when that happens, does Alex have to clear it with Todd and Brian and say, hey, I'm going to get suspended, I'm going to miss a game, but I can't play in the All-Star game? How does that work?
Yeah, well, they definitely all met on it. He could have just came out and said he's not playing. They probably would have been pissed off at him, but, he's smart enough that they probably all sat down before. It's a grind. These guys had less training time this summer than they normally have. Ovi had a kid. His baby was born in South Florida. He had a very long time, a very short time this summer to prepare for the season. Had a lot of things going on, and it's a grind. There's probably no player in the league that has more media attention than him. When he goes around city to city, this is the guy the press is waiting for. He's got to go in there, and it's tedious little things. So, I'm sure everyone's 100% fine with it. And once again, I don't know how many goals Ovi scored in the All-Star game last year, the year before that. I don't remember any of them, but I do remember the goals that he scored for the Caps wearing his uniform.
So Carly and Holtby will be going, and Nicholas Backstrom could be voted in. So there will be some Caps representation at the All-Star game. It just won't be Ovi.
No, and you know what? The good thing for John Carlson is I think hopefully this starts giving him more recognition as the top defenseman in the league. He's been what he's been doing this season has been phenomenal, with and without the puck. Everyone talks about his points, but it's his play, and I think that's great. So because I think there needs to be more of an outcry for him to get votes for the best defenseman in the league. I think he definitely should have been a finalist last year. I think right now he should be at the top of the heap. And then Braden Holtby, what he's done over the course of his career speaks for itself. So no surprise that he's there. I'm really happy that John's there. And I bet you Nick Backstrom is secretly wishing that he's not put on that team right now, just so he can catch some rest as well.
You can chill.